Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. This is Mr. Sanders Teaches, and my name is Chase Sanders. I am a National Board Certified Special Educator, and today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I really wanted to discuss, and that is pendulum swings in education. So I'm a little disappointed because I got this microphone because I want to be a real YouTube influencer celebrity, dreams, right? But the cord does not fit into my computer, so womp womp, as the kids say. So we're going to do without the microphone today. We are committed. We're going to do this, microphone or not. So let's go ahead and get started. Pendulum swings and education. If you don't know what I am talking about, I'm sure you will when I give you some examples. So what are we going to talk about in this video? So I'm going to introduce the concept of pendulum swings and explain examples. And then I'm also going to explain why pendulum swings are so prevalent in education and why they pose a problem for teachers, for students, for really any stakeholders in the field of education. So the following dichotomies could possibly be considered pendulum swings. So zero tolerance versus restorative justice. These are two paradigms for dealing with discipline. With zero tolerance, we have increased consequences for student misbehavior. We have progressively escalating consequences for repeated infractions. So there's really that hard line with discipline with zero tolerance. And then with restorative justice, the focus is on repairing relationships that might have been harmed to address student misconduct. And then another dichotomy that's kind of become a pendulum swing is phonics versus comprehension instruction. So do we teach kids, especially in the primary grades, do we focus on teaching letters and sounds and phonics skills, like blending those sounds and using those skills to read new words or to decode new words? Or do we focus on comprehension? So not deal with the individual letters and sounds, but focus on the whole word, the whole sentence, the whole passage, and really understanding from a more global or macro level. And then another one that you might come across in education is direct instruction versus project-based learning. So do we as teachers model for the kids what to learn and then have them practice it and then master based on independent practice? Or do we kind of let the kids figure things out for themselves through project-based learning? So whereas direct instruction is, do we tell the kids directly what to learn and how to learn it? Or do we allow kids the flexibility and the freedom to kind of explore a topic of their choice and then learn on the way, learn incidentally? So these are just three examples of dichotomies that kind of become pendulum swings in education. So why are pendulum swings problematic? I find them to be problematic because they offer oversimplified solutions to complex problems. So for example, we know that a problem in education or in the field of education is that certain demographics of students are punished more severely, and this has been documented through statistical studies. So the data is out there that historically people of certain minority groups are punished harsher than other students. So the solution to this, or one of the solutions, is restorative practices. So these were offered as kind of an antidote to the problem of over suspensions and overly using punitive consequences, especially for certain minorities. The problem is, though, is that these paradigm shifts or pendulum swings are really reactive, right? And oversimplistic. So we know that the problem is, we're overly suspending or giving these punitive consequences excessively, but then the solution is we're not going to use those punitive consequences at all. And that's why you see a lot of people on the internet, the cry heard across the world is that there is no consequences. So we have this kind of form of restorative justice, or this half-baked notion of restorative justice that's prevalent in so many schools, where it's kind of no consequences rather than what restorative justice truly is. And I would love to explore that in a future video. And then another problem of these pendulum swings is that they dismiss anything that might have been working on the other side of the dichotomy. And this issue is really prevalent in the reading wars. So let me see if I can break down the reading wars for you. There are two major camps when it comes to reading instruction, and these are opposing factions. So on one end, we have people who focus on phonics, or the kind of building blocks of words, and using those building blocks to make meaning of those words and so on, right? And then on the other side, we have the comprehension focus. This is kind of whole word reading. You might have heard that phrase, where we're not focused on the building blocks per se. We're more focused on making meaning from words and sentences and so on. So the problem with this pendulum swing is that reading comprehension is very important, but as I'm going to show you, it is a destination that's kind of confused with the journey, right? We think, oh, well, we're going to teach kids comprehension by having them understand what they read. Okay, well, there's some obstacles for some kids. So I know we're talking about pendulum swings in general, but I really think that the swing from phonics-based instruction to reading comprehension focused really encapsulates the problem of pendulum swings. So here is a diagram that I find very useful in understanding the relationship between reading comprehension and focusing on the more elementary skills like decoding and phonics. So things like phonics, decoding, those elemental parts work in service of reading comprehension. But if one of those building blocks is not working, then there's going to be a breakdown in comprehension. So do we keep teaching a kid comprehension strategies when they need instruction in decoding, when decoding words is kind of what's getting in the way of really understanding what they read? So just as some kids need instruction in decoding and phonics, other kids need more direct instruction versus project-based or inquiry learning. So the problem with pendulum swings is that we do a disservice to students who may benefit from practices associated with the other side of the dichotomy, whether that's phonics or reading comprehension or project-based or direct instruction. And there's lots of other dichotomies in the field of education that are pendulum swings. So we know that pendulum swings are a problem in education. So what's the solution? Not surprisingly, a balanced approach is the best approach to things like literacy, discipline, and pretty much anything related to education. So that's my hot take. So balanced literacy is a thing, and I'd like to break down what that is in a future video. Balanced discipline, I would love to kind of explore what that means, and whether restorative justice, if it's implemented correctly, could address the behavioral problems that are so prevalent in our schools. All right, everybody, that is it for today's video. I hope the sound quality wasn't atrocious. If it was, I apologize. Hopefully one of these days I will get the microphone situation sorted out. I know I'm probably speaking into the ether, but if you happen to come across this video and would like to respond, maybe have your own perspective on pendulum swings, then feel free to do so down below, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.